finally here for a 7 on Sunday. Oh my god, it's been like 3 months, but I'm finally here to do a 7 on Sunday. Couple of things, you might notice that there's some new tattoos going on, which I got a week ago at the point of filming this video. I feel like I don't really want to give you a close-up because they are fucking peeling and scabbing and it's gross. And I've been in a constant state of just having my arms like this because there's no crossing, there's nothing to really do with them except wait for this crap to heal. And these tattoos have been fucking sore. The swearing is warranted, okay, because it really hurts. It just hurts. I don't think I want to get any more ever, even though I still have 2 solid ideas that I have. And I also got my hair done. So it's in this nice braid at the moment, which I like, but the blonde is higher because I wanted to make it higher because there's things happening in my future where I just want to have nice hair, you know? So I wanted it to last like 6 months protocol here. And I kind of don't want to get my hair done again for a while because I was in there for 5 hours when I should have only been in there for maybe 3 because they were so busy and I was literally at one point sitting there with wet hair for an hour. So it was just a long ass time, and it also cost the same amount, but I got a discount because they were doing a thing at the time. And they told me that having an ombre updated would not cost as much, so it's like I don't want to go back for a little while, but that is all the life updates. And also just, you know, being really busy that I haven't been able to do 7 on Sunday. But Grace has had some really good topics this month, and there was topics at the start of the month that I wanted to do, but I just again did not have time. But I'm so excited to talk about the books on my anti-TBR. Obviously I'm just ready for some hate because I'm in pain and I've spent a lot of money, so I need to talk about some books that I just never want to read. Like, these are books that I'm never going to buy, I'm never going to add them to my TBR, I just have no interest in. Like, I'm obviously not really angry about it, it's just there's no way that I'm going to read them, and I know that people will want to message and tell me I should, but I just don't want to. Like, they're books that I don't want to read, they're authors that I don't want to support, or there's just, you know, I just don't want to. That's what this video is about, so I'm excited. And also, I have Grace linked down below every time, but you definitely should go subscribe to her because she actually does do the topics every week, and she also runs 7 on Sunday, so definitely she is someone to go follow and subscribe to. She's the best. And she also has Rare content as well because she was at Rare. It was just the best time. Let's get into the thing. So number 1, as an overarching branch, is Colleen Hoover books. I just cannot do it. Like, at first, maybe like 3 years ago when Colleen Hoover was like big, and she's still big now, but like when I first started seeing her books, I was like, maybe. I cannot do it. There's nothing against her, but I don't feel like I want to read her books because there's always drama around her stories and around the movies and around, like, the coloring book drama as well has definitely turned me off wanting to read these books at all. But I can't do it. There's just something about it that just makes me not want to. But there's also like freaking, what, 30 of them? Do I look like I have space for them? Like, I came back from Rare and I have completely taken up all the space plus more. So I can't actively buy any more books unless I get rid of books, but I don't want to get rid of books because I have attachment issues to my book. I need someone to come in and just get rid of some for me, just make the decisions, because that would be the only thing that's going to help me. But as a whole, I cannot read these books at all in my lifetime. I don't think I'm going to. Next is Empire of the Vampire by J. Kristoff. Again, I just have no freaking interest in this book whatsoever. I haven't even finished the Nevernight series. Like, I read the first 2 and I always plan on reading Dark Dawn, and I don't even think I'm going to finish that book because I cannot be asked. But this book sounds like it's going to be freaking dense and boring, and I know a lot of people like it, but I can't do it. But there's also so much drama with J. Kristoff that I don't want to support him anymore. It's only if he writes another sci-fi with like Amy Kaufman that I will read that book, but that's it. The next one is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Honestly, nothing against Leigh. I love the Six of Crows duology. Shadow and Bone, it's a bit boring, but like, it's, you know, the whole thing is like, you can't have one without the other. But there is just no part of me that's ever been interested in this book. And it's one of those hard ones because it's so popular, and I've had friends read this recently, especially when the second book came out, and I was just like, I have kind of FOMO about not being able to talk to my friends about it, but I just have never really been into the dark academia style story. And I know people will tell me that this book's good, but nothing has ever drawn me towards it to want to read it, and it kind of seems like it might be a bit freaky. So I've just never picked it up. I've never like gotten into the peer pressure of this story with everyone telling me how amazing it is, and I just won't do it. So this is the one that's on the list that's like the least amount of me being like, no. It's just a personal preference of just, I don't think I'm going to like it, and I don't want to sit through it and make myself read it. And I have to get better at doing this, where I just buy things because everyone else is buying them. This is one of my first real step downs of like, just don't do it, Abby. You don't need to buy it. You don't need to read it. It's fine. Next, I want to talk about Realm Breaker by Victoria Aveyard. After the abomination that was the finish of the Red Queen series, basically from book 2. So book 2, 3, and 4 were shit. So I can't do it. So I'm not going to read Realm Breaker. I am not going to support her. I'm not even going to attempt it because I do not want to be disappointed, because Red Queen, I loved it back in the day. It was the absolute epiphany of perfect story for who I was at that age. And the second book just fucked it over completely. It completely ruined the whole entire vibe of the story, and I have never been able to get over the betrayal of that series, because nothing really has ever hurt me as much as how much it went from amazing to like bombed. So I will never read anything by her again, because I do not want to be disappointed ever again. Next, I have Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. I only will read Shadowhunter books from her because her writing isn't the best, but it's because I'm attached to these characters, as you can see. I've got an angelic rune. I didn't even explain it. I've got an angelic rune in a plane, travel, angelic rune, Shadowhunters. You know, these are the things. So I actually finally got a tattoo that doesn't involve books. And it's fun too, because like when I put my arm up, it's like the plane's going shoo, which is what I want it to do. This is going to be my Instagram post for all the things. Every time I'm in an airport, I'll be like, hey! That's where the vibe's going to be. I'm not meant to be going on tangent, so yeah, Swordcatcher. I could not care less about what this book's about. It's about what some dude who's catching a sword, I don't know, but it's an adult book. And again, only Shadowhunters. That is the only thing that I will read, and I'm not even reading them anymore. I've got to read the Last Hours trilogy, and I will do it. I just don't want to right now, but I want to try and at least get to Chain of Gold this year. That would be amazing, but like, so I can't do anything else by her. Like, literally, it's only Shadowhunter related stories that I will buy and put on my TBR. I could not care less about this book. Next, I have Breaking Time by Sasha Olsberg. So this is a book that if it came out maybe 6 years ago when she first started writing it, I would have read it. But it's taken so long for it to happen. And she's not a YouTuber that I follow or really enjoy content from anymore, that if she had released it when I was still a big fan, I would have read it. But now, as she's evolved away from the booktube, and she's just very different to who she was when I first started following her, and all the drama around like selling arcs and the signing of books and all that stuff, and Zenith coming out and everyone pushing it when it wasn't really a good book, and she wrote that with someone else, and it's just, there's too much going on there for me to even commit to liking this book. To me, it's always kind of felt like it's going to be like an Outlander ripoff, because it's about a Scotsman and she travels somewhere in time, and it's just not going to be something I'm going to want to read. And I don't want to have to put myself through it, and I don't even know when it's coming out. But because it's been just pushed at me for so many years, it's lost all meaning, and it's just never going to be something that I'm going to be able to read. And I'm excited for other people to read it, to finally experience it. And I guess if enough people told me that it was the freaking best book that was ever written on the face of the earth, and they were wanting me to read it, I might. But at this point in time, I just cannot even think about adding it to my TBR, and I don't really try and think about this book as much either. Pretty much like all these books, I'm just like, they're not in my brain, they're not in my life. That's where it's at. And lastly, I couldn't really think of anything, so I'm just going to say classics, because I cannot sit through boring books, and I know that classics are important, and it's kind of one of those things where like some booktubers are just like, if you don't read classics, you're not well read. Well, it's okay. I like to read trashy romances and cute romances and fun fantasy. I don't want to sit through classics where I'm going to be bored out of my mind. I know the stories. I can Google the stories. I can watch a movie. I can watch a play. Disney does most of them. That's how I will get my history of classics. I will never read them. Even though I do have A Tale of Two Cities on my TBR, but it's not really, I own it, but I'm never going to read it because I read a retelling of A Tale of Two Cities. So retellings. I can get the classics through a retelling that's actually interesting. Don't ever at me when you're like, oh, when you read, it's not going to happen. I'm sorry. I will admit that I'm a dumbass who's never going to read any of them ever. There can be exceptions to this rule, but I haven't found any yet. So this is the most of the never say never category of this video, but I can't do it. But anyway, guys, that is all for today's video. I mean, if you want to comment and tell me I need to read these books because they're the best thing ever, you can. I probably won't listen. These are all of my opinions. If anyone is upset, I'm sorry, but I just very strongly feel this. And it's also really dark at night and I'm really hungry. So this is Hangry Abby coming at you. I haven't done a Setting on Sunday video for so long and my arms hurt. This is what you get. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If anyone gets to the end here, sorry. I'm still fun. I promise. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Got it. That's gonna be on the end, isn't it? I'm trying to do a good thumbnail that's fucking fugly. Let's do this.